telling the truth that they all sold out. But it reminds me of like my final straw with Lebatard when it was like, oh, okay, I'm done with this. Is Stugots, when I went to Fox Sports and ended up doing a show with Cowherd initially. And Stugot, and this is at a time when there was already distance and even more distance between me and Lebatard because I had figured out what he was about. And so with Lebatard sitting there, Stugots, and I've been fired by ESPN. I go over to Fox Sports to do a show. It turns out me and Cowherd are supposed to be doing separate shows, but that's another long story. They paired me with Cowherd basically to carry Cowherd. And I'm not saying that to disparage Cowherd, but he was doing a 3-hour radio show, and then in order to get more money, he says, yeah, I'll do a second show. And when they figure out, well, you can't do a 3-hour radio show and then turn back around and do a second show. You're not even, we'll have Whitlock and him do the show together. Whitlock will carry him. We can continue to pay Cowherd this exorbitant amount of extra money he wants for doing a second show. They were using me. Regardless, I knew the deal. I was going to work through that, and eventually, I knew Cowherd would quit and I'd get control. But regardless, Stugots goes on air and tells the story that Whitlock thinks Cowherd's a racist and wants no parts of Cowherd. And Stugots is telling the story that I heard this from Whitlock's own mouth, that he blah, blah, blah. This is all a lie. It's all fact. Lebatard's sitting there giggling as Stugots is telling this story. And I'm like, that dude ran around for a decade as a friend of mine. He's sitting here, I'm in a new work situation, and me and Cowherd were friendly but not friends at the time. And someone's on a national radio program, because he was at ESPN at this time, telling this type of, Whitlock thinks Cowherd's a racist, and I've heard it out of his own mouth, and blah, blah, blah. Lebatard knows this isn't true, knows I don't have that type of relationship with Stugots. And then anybody that knows me knows I wear all my feelings on my sleeve. If I think someone's a racist, you think I'm gonna keep that a secret? If I don't like someone, do I keep secrets? That's never been part of my career. Never been. And so it's just like, what did they do? And Lebatard's laughing and giggling and blah, blah, blah. And that's when I was like, oh, F this dude. He's a phony, he's a fake. He don't care about nobody but himself. And that's between the difference in authenticity between he and Stephen A. Smith is a mile wide. It's comical that they're in this kind of dispute and people are actually thinking Lebatard's the credible person and blah, blah, blah. It ain't even close. That's as phony a person as there is in the sports media. And I'll just repeat again, to sit here and try to blame Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless for ruining sports TV when you work with the actual puppet master? John Skipper, and keep in mind, he plays woke and plays the role of being anti-establishment, but he wants to execute Stephen A. Smith while leaving the actual architect, the person with power, the person at the top of ESPN, sit-downs once a week with Bob Iger, not gonna touch him. Not going to talk about, he paid Stephen A. Smith. He controlled all of this. It's not John Skipper, the cokehead. It's Stephen A. Smith, the little black dude that's taking 10, 12 million a year and taking care of his family and living out his American dream. He's the bad guy. John Skipper, we won't even talk about him. That's the cowardice that drives me crazy.
Hey, the machine will swallow you up. That's what Stephen A. is going to learn here. When I saw Stephen A. in New York City, he had this look about him like he was tired. When you see somebody off camera, you go on camera, you can put on the face and the energy. But off camera, he looked tired. And, you know, he's done a lot of shilling for a long time for the establishment. I think he's genuinely tired. He wants to get out, like you said the other day. As far as Lebatard goes, never liked him. Never liked him. Never liked him. He's a cuck. It doesn't shock me that he would hire some bartender for some, you know, for some coochie. That doesn't shock me.
Hold on. Let me be clear.
Okay.
He didn't hire Katie Nolan.
Okay.
She's hired by ESPN.
Yeah, keep her on, whatever the case may be.
He's just, and again,
pretend like she's saying something important.
Yes.
None of that stuff surprises me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bo Monty's, you know, pitching both ways at best. So
obviously, I have made that same.
you get a cuck and a gay black guy together, and sparks are sure to fly.
So, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I've done as much damage as I can do. I got to.